Good morning and welcome to number 4 of our Student Success Series for spring of 2020. First, know that our hearts are with each and every student. We know that everyone is affected by what's going on, and I'm thankful that we are here to go through this together as a North Shore family. So we're here for you. Remember to reach out, call, or email and let us know what you need. We're here to help you and to support you. Our topic today is test-taking skills. We always first assess how much time we have to approach each task. We have 3.5 weeks between now and the beginning of exams. During that time, we're going to be taking quizzes and tests, and then we're going to be taking exams. It's a good time to focus on good test-taking strategies. First and foremost, know that whether you are taking a test or playing a football game or playing a video game, winning is about knowing the material. So winning is about knowing the material. How do we get to know the material? We spend time with it. A test is a contest. If we want to compete, what do? We practice. We practice the material so much, whether that's a video game technique, whether that's a football play, or whether that's how to use a math formula or write a good paragraph. We practice it so much over and over that it becomes second nature to us. So what does that mean? It means that if you can be a winner by practicing, we can all be winners. We can be winners by practicing, and we practice by reading our material, writing our material, recording and listening to our material, and explaining it to other people. So be a winner by practicing your material over and over. Secondly, read your syllabus or get in touch with your instructor to find out what kind of test or quiz or exam is your next one up. Is it multiple choice? Is it one long essay? Is it 3 or 4 essay questions? Is it true, false? Is it short answers? Is it demonstrating a skill? You need to know what kind of test it is so that you can best prepare for it. Third, and this is the golden rule, no matter what kind of test you have, always sit down, breathe in slowly first, breathe out, and review the entire test before you start. You need to know how many questions are on it, what kind of questions are on it. Is there a big essay at the end? We've all sat down to take a test. We didn't review it. We dive right into it. We start answering questions, and before you know it, time is up and there was a big question, a big essay question that was worth 20 points at the end of the test. We've all been there. Don't let that happen to you. Golden rule, no matter what, review the entire test before you start. So those are the 3 first things that you need to do. In my handout, I have strategies for taking the best strategies that I've put together into this one sheet for taking those different types of tests, multiple choice, essays, etc. We're going to go through them super briefly here because we don't have enough time, but I want you to read this as soon as you get a chance. For multiple choice, you're going to read every single answer before you answer. If you absolutely know it, go ahead and mark it. If you're not sure, check it off in Canvas or whatever format you're in and come back to it. Go back through go through all of the questions, answer everything that you can. Some of those questions and answers are going to give you cues and help you to remember things that will help you to go back to those ones that you weren't clear about and answer them correctly. When you do go back, rule out the ones that you know are absolutely wrong so that you narrow your choices down. It's a very brief approach to multiple choice testing. If you have an essay question, read the prompts first. Read all of them, see how many you have, allot your time accordingly. And the very most important factor in taking an essay test is jotting down on a scratch sheet every point you want to make in your answer, in your essay. So jot those points down, then you won't get distracted or sidetracked when you're writing your essay. Stick to those points that you've written down. Short answers, important to read the instructor's instructions. Is he asking you to answer your questions in complete sentences? Is he saying you can use words or short phrases? See how many you have altogether so that you can plan your time accordingly. If you have to demonstrate a skill, you want to communicate with that instructor and know exactly what kind of skill and technique he's expecting you to be able to exhibit. And you want to practice that until you know it in your sleep. Speaking of sleep, Sleep is just as important in this process as eating and studying. If you sleep 7 hours a night and not more than 9, that's what all the studies say, 7 hours you want to shoot for, not more than 9. If you sleep those 7 hours, you're going to be well rested. And if you're well rested, you're going to be more alert, you're going to think better, and you're going to feel happier. Who wouldn't? Try to practice those sleep habits. Go to sleep at the same time every night, wake up at the same time every morning, and remember this important factor. It is during sleep that information is locked into long-term memory. Without sleep, you're not going to be able to recall that information on a test. So just realize sleep is just as important as all these other test-taking strategies. I have a sweet tip for you. I was surprised to learn that peppermint, whether that's peppermint candy, peppermint gum, or peppermint oil, helps us to be more alert, less fatigued, think more clearly, and remember better. Who knew? Had no idea. Bring a couple of peppermints in with you when you take that next quiz or test. So we can't talk about test-taking strategies without talking about test anxiety. It's a real thing. Anxiety is normal and natural. We all experience it in different levels and degrees. And anxiety can give us an edge. So think about when you went into a job interview, when you had the big game to play, when you got married, for those who are married, when you got married, when you had a big presentation that you had to give at some point, a speech, that you're anxious and that anxiety gives you a little bit of an edge. It makes you sharpen your senses and think more clearly. You perform better. A little bit like I have to do when I give you these video presentations. So use that anxiety as an edge. It will help you to perform better. Okay, what if we have a little bit too much anxiety? Some of us have that. Some of us have all experienced it. Some of us experience it a lot. What do we do? The very first thing you do when you're feeling that anxiety is stop and breathe in very, very slowly and breathe out. Just concentrate on that breathing. Don't think about, oh my goodness, I got to take this test. Am I going to forget everything I ever learned? Don't do that to yourself. Breathe in very slowly, in and out. You might have to do it 3 times. Refocus. Say to yourself, I have practiced. I have spent time with my material. I know it, and I can do it. If you've done that, you're going to be successful at that test. Anxiety and how we handle it is super important. In my handout, I'll also have some important information about the do's and don'ts of test-taking strategies. I'm going to just outline the don'ts just a little bit. We've talked about what we do. We'll talk about the don'ts just very briefly. You never cram. Cramming does not give you that time, that practice with your material, so that you're so familiar with it that it's second nature to you. And it doesn't give you time to sleep, so that it gets locked into long-term memory. Don't cram. Don't go without breakfast. You need that energy. You need proteins and carbs to give you that short and long-term energy to get you through that test. Don't stay up late and then use those snooze buttons over and over, wake up at the last minute. Instead, go to bed on time. Spend that time ahead of time. Go to bed on time. Wake up at the same time in the morning. Get up and eat that breakfast. And then focus your mind on the material as you go into that test. Remember, again, breathe in and breathe out. Practice your material. Set up a routine of sleeping and studying and doing all the things that you need to do. Remember that routine leads to less stress in your life. And know that if you do those things and you practice those strategies, you review the things in this handout, you're going to be successful. Breathe in, believe in yourself. We believe in you. We absolutely know that you can do it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.